Study Section 5 Operational Tasks of Educational Administration. Introduction. In the previous study session, you learned about the behavioral and management science areas. The tasks of the educational administration are duties performed by the educational administrators, especially in our educational institutions. These institutions are primary schools, secondary schools, and tertiary institutions. However, the magnitude of each of these tasks could vary in line with the educational level. In this study session, you will learn about the major tasks of educational administration and the qualities that are expected of any educational administrator. Learning outcomes for study section 5. At the end of this session, you should be able to highlight the operational tasks of education administration, enumerate the qualities of a good educational administrator. Operational tasks of education administration. The major task of educational administration is the implementation of educational plans. Even though educational administrators may be involved one way or another in educational planning, policy making, and program designing, their major role is to implement educational plans and programs effectively and efficiently. Nistrand Inatonda and Lamid 2006 and Nwako 1982 enumerated these tasks as follows. 1. School community relations. The school as an organization cannot be isolated from its environment, and this is the reason why the school administrators have to develop and administer a culture for the participation of parents and the community in school affairs. Time must always be created to receive and interact with parents who visit the school or who are invited to the school. Such parents' complaints should be taken in good faith and necessary adjustment should be made in school operation. 2. Curriculum and instruction. This is the core area of the school system that is the essence of teaching-learning process. It is therefore crucial that the school administrators should pay adequate attention not only to the planning of the curriculum but also to the effectiveness of the delivery of instruction and execution of the instructional programs. School administrators have to create conducive working environment for teaching and learning. This they can achieve through dynamic leadership, provision of material and instructional resources, provision of co-curricular activities for the student, motivation of staff, innovative instructional methodology, and good human relations. 3. Staff personnel. This implies the provision of personnel needed in carrying out programs of instruction and services to students, pupils, that is, teaching and non-teaching staff. The school administrator should provide appropriate stimulation and encouragement to staff members so as to retain them on the job and at the same time get them to perform their task to the maximum benefit of the organization. It is important for the school administrator to provide orientation exercise for newly employed staff and at the same time do a proper placement of these staff so as to provide a source of satisfaction for them and thereby retain them on the job. 4. Student pupil personnel. This involves the services rendered to students that complement regular classroom instruction, such as taking pupils inventory, organizing the pupils, provision of social workers and guidance counselors to help the students in both their academic and social lives. There should be accurate data on pupils' enrollment so that the well-being of the pupils would be taken care of. Also, counseling services should be provided as the help in minimizing problems of discipline in schools. The school administrator, apart from the provision of the welfare services, should also encourage co-curricular activities such as recreational activities and participation of students in different clubs like the Boy Scout, the Girls Guide, and the Red Cross, and so on. 5. Physical facilities. They consist of the school buildings, school grounds, and equipment that are provided in the school, which aid the stimulation of teaching learning process. It is usually assumed that effective learning can occur regardless of the type of school facilities provided, but this is far from the truth. Poorly ventilated classrooms cannot support optimum learning, whereas a pleasant school layout procedures a measure of psychological effect on the learners. The administrator must ensure that the buildings are kept safe for the students' use and that they are under good sanitary conditions. Worn-out equipment should be repaired or replaced, while leaking roofs and chairs should be repaired. The whole school should be made attractive so as to boost the morale of the teachers and students. 6. Finance and business management. This involves making appropriate and adequate budgets for the school, securing adequate revenue from government or through other sources, managing expenditure, and directing non-teaching personnel are some of the activities here. The school administrator should prepare the budget, secure revenue for the school, and also use the fund at its disposal judiciously. It must also provide a proper accounting system for money collected in the school. 7. General duties. The school head is expected to summon staff meetings in order to provide a forum for direct communication with both teaching and non-teaching staff. This is important so that the teaching learning goals could be achieved. The school principal has the responsibility for protecting the image of the school and through functions like assemblies, sport events, literary and cultural displays, excursions, and participation in quizzes and other educational competitions. Qualities of a good educational administrator. An educational administrator is a professional who skillfully implements educational plans, policies, and programs for the achievement of educational objectives. Educational administrators could be found in the ministries of education, that is, federal and state, educational parastatals, educational agencies, international organizations like UNESCO, schools, colleges, polytechnics, and universities. For these educational administrators, especially those in educational institutions, to be successful, They are expected to possess the qualities enumerated in the next subsection. Qualities of a good education administrator. The administrative success of educational administrators depends to a greater extent on possession of some personality traits or qualities. Thus, not all managers are successful. Some of these traits or qualities include 1. Knowledge. A good educational administrator is expected to possess a reasonable degree of knowledge. This will help him to differentiate between facts, inferences, and hypotheses, as well as speculations, and process this information into useful data for decision-making purpose. It is important to have knowledge of educational policies, reforms, techniques, among others. Knowledge is said to be power. If any educational administrator is lacking this, it might be a failure. 2. Emotional stability. This denotes good adjustment to life. That is, calm, cool, and calculated reaction to undesirable situations and obstacles, and normal acceptance of success as well as failure. A good educational administrator must be able to look and assess a problem with detachment and objectivity. This will guide him against wrong decisions. 3. Communication skill. A good educational administrator is a good communicator. Communication is referred to as the live wire in any organization, and the absence of minimal knowledge of communication skills will lead to lapses and result into a weak administration and displacement of educational objectives. Every medium of communication has to be utilized effectively by the educational administrator. 4. Ability to articulate vision. Vision steers actions in appropriate direction. A good educational administrator must be able to articulate vision and also involve people willingly in the operations. An administrator is a leader, and a leader who is not visionary will fail in achieving group goals. 5. Decisiveness. This relates to the skills needed to recognize and define the problem, and if possible, to anticipate problems before they get out of hand. A good educational administrator should be able to make decisions even when only partial data is available, so that his decision may be based on analytical and institutional judgment. 6. Role model. The educational administrator is a leader. The simple description of a leader is he who knows the way, shows the way, and leads the way. This implies that subordinates look onto educational administrators as leaders. They see them as model, thus the extent by which they could show the way as well as lead the way will determine the respect they are accorded. 7. Good motivator. A good educational administrator should be able to effectively motivate subordinates towards the achievement of educational objectives. Is our understanding of subordinates needs goes a long way in relating with them accordingly. If the administrator fails to reward and appreciate his followers adequately, they might be dissatisfied and demoralized, which in turn affects productivity. 8. Ability to handle conflict. This skill is very important for educational administrators to be successful. In order to handle conflict effectively, the administrator must be confident and self-assertive, fair, and dominant. It should be highly tolerant of stress, as conflict generally leads to stress and tension. A good educational administrator should get all the facts on the matter that caused conflict, get both sides in case two people of factions are involved, and ensure the people with grievance hear it completely. The final decision must be seen as fair and impartial. 9. Sensitivity. A good educational administrator must be sensitive to the feelings of others, while at the same time being considerate. Insensitivity on the part of administrator could lead to unexpected risks. Sensitivity to subordinates feeling and situations in workplace could avert a lot of danger, which may lead to failure. 10. Confidence. Self-confidence is another quality of a good educational administrator. As a leader, the administrator should believe in himself. He has to live to his word at all times. He should not betray confidence reposed in him. 11. Humility. A good educational administrator must be humble in every situation. He must realize that administration is getting things done with the assistance of subordinates. His humility among the staff will give him opportunity to benefit from subordinates' expertise and wealth of experience. This is because humility brings closeness between subordinates and leader. Therefore, the barrier of gap is eliminated. Thus, pride and arrogance create a vacuum between administrator and his staff. 12. Openness to suggestions. The educational administrator must be open to suggestions. This calls for good human relations and ability to relate freely with staff. This will avail him of opportunity to have subordinate input in the decision making. 13. tolerance, ability to tolerate it and accommodate differences in subordinates is another quality of a good administrator. Subordinates are bound to be different in their manner of approach, feelings, reaction, and attitude to work among others. A good educational administrator must understand his subordinates. This gives him opportunity to understand them. Having understood them, he will not expect them to behave in the same way. 14. Patience. This is one of leadership qualities of a good educational administrator. It is the ability to endure trouble, suffering, and inconvenience without complaints. The achievement of the desired objective is the driving force. Initial failure will not be a discouragement in pressing further until the target is reached. Summary for study section 5. In this study session, you have learned that 1. The task areas of educational administrators, especially in educational institutions, are school community relations, curriculum and instruction, staff personnel, student, pupil personnel, physical facilities, finance and business management, and general duties. 2. Effective discharge of these tasks facilitate achievement of educational objectives. 3. The position of the educational administrator in accomplishing educational objectives cannot be overemphasized. 4. The qualities of a good educational administrator, which would facilitate effective achievement of educational objectives, are as follows: knowledge, emotional stability, communication skill, ability to articulate vision, role model, ability to handle conflict, humility, openness to suggestions, and patience. This is the end of study section 5. Thanks for listening.